Hi friends, it's Peggy from prettypapercards.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I'm here with my little Yorkshire Terrier, Ellie, and we are going to have fun today. I wrote down that we're going to be in the peach orchard because we are going to play with peaches. And the beautiful peach designer series paper, let me check, it's called You're a Peach, is the name of the designer series paper. It is beautiful, and the stamp set is sweet as a peach. And so because it's, you know, we had Memorial Day and that's over, and that's usually kind of the unofficial start of summer, and I'm just thinking about peaches, and I love this peach set, and so I want to play with it with you. We've done some before, but I just think it's so beautiful. We just can't let it go by. We just have to use it, and we'll be using it all year, but I think this is the prime time for using it, right here in this late spring, early summer. So welcome. How are you guys? I'm gonna just check my computer here and see what's going on and make sure we're transmitting live as far as I can tell. There we are. Okay, great. Let me get that blown up. Hey, Diane, good to see you from Alabama. Peachy good fun, that is right. We're gonna have some peachy good fun. So one thing I wanna talk about, as I always do at the beginning, is about our specials and whatever's going up with Stampin' Up! That I think you might wanna know because it benefits you. And probably the biggest thing right now is the sale that started yesterday, which is the retiring, my computer's giving me notes, telling me notes. The retiring January to June mini catalog. Let me get that catalog out for you and show you the face of it. This is the catalog, and it has so many beautiful things in it. And this catalog is retiring on June 30th, so we've got a month. But what they've done is they've let you know what is retiring, and they've put on sale some of the items. Now, some items are carrying over. Some items are carrying over as individual things that had been a bundle. So if there's a bundle in there that you like, any bundle, I would say get it now, because most of the bundles, even if they do carry over, they do not carry over as bundles. There are a couple, but I don't remember what they are. But you remember that a bundle is 10% off. And I always want you to get the best price you can on your beautiful Stampin' Up! Products. Then there are some things that are at 50% off, 30, 40, 20, all of that. And so there's a list, and I put a link for you up above, the last chance sale on the mini catalog. So there's a link up above for you, and you can just click that and see what's on sale. And if you like any of it, I would say grab it now, even the retiring products, because they do go fast. And by June 30th, a lot of your favorite things will be gone. So if there's anything you want from this catalog, snap it up quick. Okay, the second thing is on right up above the video here, I've also continued to put on the link for the United Through Creativity free download that we played with a couple weeks ago, or I think it was maybe last week, where they're free. It's like getting several free stamp sets. You print them out, you can color them and whatnot. So that link is up there for you. And let me see. Oh, okay, here's the next thing I want to talk to you about. You all know about my host rewards. I'm going to switch the camera now because I want to show you my host reward for this month. So the month of June, anyone who uses my host code, and the host code is up above for you, it's also on my blog, and this month it's KT. They give you always a strange little, like a password, you know, goofy numbers and letters all together. And so this month it's KT47GTSD, and it's up there for you. If you place an order with me online and you put in my host code, there's a place for you to enter it. Put in those letters and numbers, and they're up above. I will send you for free a beautiful package of these gorgeous ombre gift bags. They are beautiful. They are the 5 in colors, the brand new in colors for one thing. They're ombre. You can see how they're dark at the bottom, light at the top on both sides. And not only, so you get 20 altogether, 4 of each, so that's 20 of each of the 5 colors. But not only that, another wonderful thing you can do is you can cut the paper and use it to on your card fronts. You can do all kinds of things with it. It's a beautiful paper. So if you're going to be placing an order, please use the host code if you're going to order from me, and I will send some of these to you. I send them out the beginning of the next month because I wait to see how many I need to order. So that is my host code gift for the month. I'm going to put Ellie down and let's start playing with our peaches. Our beautiful peaches. And I wanted to remind us, go back to our catalog and remind us of the beautiful peach suite. Now the peach suite includes these adorable little kind of jelly jars. They're darling. I didn't bring one over right now, but they're just about, let me see where I can put my hand here so you can see it. There we go. About 2 inches by 2.5 inches around. They're small and they're not glass, they're plastic. So you can put all kinds of fun things in them. You can put embellishments, you can put candy, you can put real jelly, all kinds of food. They're food safe. But with that, that's part of the suite if you want to get it. But what we're going to use today is the beautiful Sweet as a Peach stamp set. There's also a die set, and we're also going to use the beautiful paper, the Europe Peach. You know, they all are peach something, and I want to make sure to use the correct name. So the Europe Peach Designer Series paper. So let's get started. And I'm going to show you what we're going to make today. This is the card we're going to be making today. And it's not a real fancy fold. The jars are the cutest thing, Diane. I agree with you. So here's the card, and it just flips up like that. It's not a standard card. It's just a little fancy, not super fancy, just a little fancy. And I really like it. I'm going to show you another sample that I made first, and I decided we wouldn't do it this way. This is a standard card that opens on the side. But for this one, it's a little bit similar, only I roughed up the edges and made it kind of more shabby chic looking. And I added a little ribbon up here, and I used one of the smaller sentiments. So I don't know if you can see, but I really roughed the edges up with the bone folder. So you can certainly do the same thing with this card, but I decided to make this one just a little more simple. And because it's a thank you card, I thought, you know, we might want to make more than one, so it's not going to take all that much time. It's going to be fun. And we are going to use some of this beautiful paper. Now I'm going to show you again the gorgeous paper, just so that you can be reminded of how beautiful this paper is. You know, I don't have it totally, you know, lined out like one side and then the other, but look at how gorgeous it is. I would have to say this is one of the things I love so much about Stampin' Up! Is these beautiful, beautiful papers. And so today, and here I have a little divider in here, that's one of the backing sheets. So today what we're going to do is mostly use the Designer Series paper. Did you know that you really can make a card almost entirely using Designer Series paper? And that's what we've done here today. So let's start out, and I have some measurements for you because the measurements are a little bit, I don't know, tricky. It's just that you do need to know the measurements. And so here's the card base for today. The card base is 4 1/4, your standard half of an 8 1/2 by 11, 4 1/4 by 9 1/2. It's cut off at 9 1/2 inches here on the bottom. It's not a full 11. It's 9 1/2, and then scored at 5 1/2. So it folds over like this. And that's what we want it to do, right? We want it to fold over so it can flip up. I just always like getting a card that's a little different, don't you? So let me just get out my bone folder and we'll try to burnish that, they call it. Press it down nice and good. And then what we're going to do is we're going to start putting on our layers of designer series paper. And what we're going to do is we've got 3 layers, 1 striped and 2 of the little petite patterns. It reminds me kind of early American. They used to call that style early American little mini prints that were wallpaper at one time, and these are just so cute. I just felt we have to use this beautiful paper as much as we can because it's so pretty. So what we're going to do is we'll start with our bottom piece, and all of it is 4 1/4 wide, right? Because the card is 4 1/4 wide. So the little small pieces on the top and the bottom are 1 5/8, and that's just 1/8 of an inch greater than 1/2. So it's really 1 1/2 plus a little scotch. That just helps it to make sure we don't have any blanks. You know, we're not leaving any of the card to the base to be seen. So there's our first one, and this is on the inside, okay? Then we're going to put our second little mini print, and you can see the back is just, you know, it doesn't matter, front, back, they're spectacular. And so we're going to put this one up at the top of the front of the card. And I'm going to hold this up a little so I can see it and be sure to move it as much as I can way up to the center. Okay, that's just a little bit off. I'm going to grab it while I can. And let me just put a little tad bit more glue. That's why I use multi-purpose glue, is because you can do this. And for this one, it's important that we get it at the top. I think I'm going to turn it over, the piece over, and I'm going to look at it straight on and just make sure get up there, you get it right up to the center. Okay, to the top. There we go. So you can adjust it. That's one nice thing with the multi-purpose glue. And then we'll put the stripes down the center, and we'll do the same thing like this. And the one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to spread this out because we want to put it at the base. Okay, let's see. We want to get it at the base, right? And so anything that is extra will just go up and over the mini print, right? So there we go. It is difficult to hide the other beautiful pattern, Diane, I totally agree. So there is really the base of our card, the card base with the background pieces adhered. Now the next thing we're going to do, and I want to give you a hint on this, these are some pieces of basic white cardstock that have been cut with the, you know, I've had a really busy morning, I have to say, and my mind is just not totally focused. Scalloped contour dies. Yes, I want to get these out to show them to you again. The beautiful scallop contour dies. These are the ones that I told you are a must-have from this new annual catalog. If you get one thing, get these scallop contour dies. And so what I did is I was using this particular die a lot, and I just took some basic white and cut quite a few of this die, so I would have them ready to use, and they come in super handy. So I only need one, but I've got extras, right, to use on the next card. So we're going to be putting this right up here, and inside we're going to put another piece of the beautiful paper, only it's going to be green. I thought we should, you know, bring in a little deeper color. And so this piece of the green designer series paper is 3.5 by 1 7/8. And I'm going to use this, I will post this as a blog post in a couple of days, and I will have all the measurements at that time for you. So that's what we're going to do first, is we're just going to glue this on. And the way I cut the green piece is that it fits perfectly right inside that stitching. Okay, so the stitching still shows, and that is one of the real highlights of these scallop contour dies is that beautiful stitching and scallops, but the two together I think are just a real wow factor. So I'm just going to put that in there like that. And you see how those stitches still show? I really just think that adds so much. I wouldn't have wanted to cover up the stitching. See that? Isn't that nice? Okay, so now we're ready to adhere this over the front of our card, the center front of our card. And the trick with this is to get this in the center, left and right, and that's kind of easy because you can use the stripes to guide you. They're not equal, but they can help guide you. And then you want to get the same distance over the stripe here as you have under, approximately. And so we're just going to adhere this with Stampin' Dimensionals, and we're not going to adhere the very bottom because we want that to hang over, right? So let's get my dimensionals on here, and I'm going to try to use 5. And I'm going to stop right about in the center like this. So that should leave that whole area down here open to hang over that flap on our card front. So we're just going to take our little papers off here. And now the little, you know, measuring deal, we have to just kind of look close and see if we can get it pretty close on there. And there we go. It's adhered. And that makes the flap for flipping up. I really like this. Then what we're going to do, I'll show you our sample card again. We'll go back to the sample card. And this little peach, so this card we're making today is really mostly just using all designer series paper. There's only one stamp, and that is for the sentiment. So for the peach that's in the center of our green piece here, I'm just going to cut out a peach from this beautiful paper. I tried to choose a peach that was one of the larger ones and also had full leaves on it. And the dies do not work for this, but I think that's okay. It really doesn't take long to fussy cut. And even if there's a little green in there, that's okay. And I actually am on purpose leaving the tiniest bit of blue, because the background is blue, of this paper. And I'm leaving a tiny bit of blue because we're going to stamp this sentiment in this balmy blue. And even though I don't think people would really notice, but I do think it draws your eye. It just gives you a little touch of blue to hang on to when you see that sentiment in the balmy blue. I don't know if you get what I'm saying, but I think it really works well. And there's just this little kind of stem thing there. I don't know if it's a stem or a funny little leaf, that skinny one, but I'm cutting that out. And you all know that when you fussy cut, this is called fussy cutting, and when you fussy cut, you turn the paper more than you turn your scissors. So you can see me turning the paper more and pretty much trying to keep the scissors straight. These are fabulous paper snips. If you do not have them, you must have them. I could not cut, none of my things came out pretty until I got these scissors. They're really amazing for cutting your paper. Just gonna round that a little bit. So here is our pretty peach, and isn't it cute? It's kind of a big peach. And we're just going to use dimensionals again and adhere this peach. I'm only going to use one dimensional. And we're just going to stick it on kind of there. The reason is that I want to put my sentiment up here. And I could use mini dimensionals under there. I may go back and do that later, but I'm not going to right now. And so for our sentiment piece, I have just cut a piece of 1/2 inch basic white cardstock. And I want to tell you, sometimes when you're cutting paper, you're cutting bigger pieces, you end up with a 1/2 inch strip. keep those strips because those are fabulous for putting these smaller sentiments on. And the one today is thank you, thanks so much. And again, I'm using the pretty balmy blue ink. So it ties in. That's one of the colors in the designer series paper. And they give you the colors, and I like to use those colors. So let's see. Now I'm going to have to get my head over here a little bit. So if you see any roots, just ignore them. See how this comes out. There we go. Thanks so much. I love the font, and it really is an easy stamp to stamp as far as getting in the right, you know, on the paper. Some stamps are hard. This is one that's not hard at all. And so this is going to fit right under there like that. And again, I'm going to use another Stampin' Dimensional. I think I might use two right up in this area, right up in here. Actually, two came off. That's kind of good. Okay, one and two. And that way the edge can hang over. And on the right edge, I'm going to snip a little flagged end. And you know how to do that. You cut down the center, and then you cut from each corner to the center, and that takes care of it. It's a very quick and easy way. And it turns out great. It makes you look like a pro because you took time to make that little flagged end. So I'm just going to tuck that under there. And there we go. Thanks so much. Isn't that a cute card? Hi, Kay. Good to see you. Thanks, Diane, for sharing. The one thing I want to add, well, first of all, let's stamp our envelope. Now, I could get out some other pretty stamps from the You're a Peach, Sweet as a Peach stamp set, which I'm not sure if I totally showed. Here it is. If you don't have it, people, really, stampers, you've got to. It is, I think right now, my favorite stamp set in the catalog. And if some people are, you know, they get a little tired of flowers. Now that's not me, but some people do, and so this is a perfect set. And I'm going to stamp this thanks so much right on the bottom edge of my card. And that'll give the person just a little bit of a preview that it's a little thank you card. Look how cute that looks. Again, it's an easy stamp to stamp straight, which I really appreciate. Now we're going to go back and add a little bling to our card. Now, I think these are back ordered, but they will be coming. These are the In Color Jewels. 2021-2023 In Color Jewels. And actually, I am going to use the pink ones, which are the polished pink color. But interestingly enough, because they're so kind of iridescent, when you get them on, it's really interesting because they almost take on any of the pinkish hues. So even though I'm using the pink ones, I'll show you here after I get it finished. And you'll see that it kind of looks peachy, doesn't it? I really think it does. Hi, Patricia. Oh, I love the Peach Suite. I just seriously do. I mean, if I could make every card for 2 weeks out of the Peach Suite, I would, because it is so versatile and so adorable. So here's our envelope again where we stamped thanks so much. And here's our cute little card. And then you flip the card up and you can write on the inside. Now, I didn't put anything on the inside just because I wasn't inking up the other stamps. But you certainly can, and I might before I send it to someone. But I just think it's cute, it's fun, it's a nice little flip. If you haven't seen, if you weren't here for the measurements, definitely, in fact, I'll just give them to you again in case you want to write down the measurements, because I see that we have some people that weren't on earlier. So the card base itself is 4 1/4 by 9 1/2 and scored at 5 1/2. Then that leaves you, well, I don't know how much this is, but anyway, these two pieces are the same. These two pieces of the designer series paper. and they are 4 1/4. It's all 4 1/4 by 1 5/8. This striped one is 4 1/4 by 2 1/2, and this green one in the center is 3 1/2 by 1 7/8. So that's what makes the card, is all the different colors of the Designer Series paper. Hi Pam. That work so beautifully together. They really do work beautifully together. And then here's the one I made before. And if you like more of a shabby look, you can rough up the edges with your bone folder. I've done that before. You know, it's a look I really like. And before you glue the paper on, you just rough up the edges. And I did the same. Distressed, I guess, is the nicer word maybe. I distressed the green also. And for this one, I use the Let's Celebrate You sentiment, because one thing I love about this stamp set, so they have the bigger sentiments like thanks so much that I used today, but then they have these little ones. And interestingly enough, which is so wonderful of Stampin' Up, here are the dies that we didn't use today, except this particular little label die will work for all of these small sentiments. So that's why I used it here on this particular card. So the measurements are the same for this one. You just distress the edges. And also, I didn't have it pop up. That's when I got the idea to have it pop up. So this one just opens. Lots of variety, different ways you could do this. So these are the 2 cards that we made today. And I really want to thank you for stopping by. Now I want to remind you too, hi Christy, good to see you, thanks. Oh, you got home. They went on a long trip all the way out from North Carolina to Southern California. Things I want to remind you are, remember the sale of the retired items from the mini catalog, the January to June mini catalog. The catalog is ending and retiring on the 30th of June. This is the catalog. And beginning yesterday, June 1st, some items are on sale up to 50% off. Now, some are not, but you know they're retiring. So if you like any of the products that are retiring, I would, hi Kay, I would jump in there and grab those right away. Grab those retiring items, the on sale items, because in a few days the good ones will really be gone, especially the ones that have the dies. Some of the dies are discounted and you really want to grab the dies. And I have the link for you up above where it says last chance. Click that link, it'll take you, I think I linked it to the actual list. And then when you order, be sure that you use my June host code and you will get my ombre gift bags that I'm giving, a package of 20 ombre gift bags if you use my host code with your order of $50 or more in my online store. So these are the peach cards. I want to thank you all so much for popping in, and come back on Friday. I'm going to give you a little hint. I'm going to come back here. I'm going to give you a little hint about Friday. I found out something. It's National Donut Day. Do you believe it? National Donut Day. I love donuts, especially chocolate glazed. So I think you might be joining me for a little donut on Friday on National Donut Day. Maybe you should get your own donuts. Get a donut and join me, and we'll just bite into our donuts for a minute together before we get started on Friday, okay? So thanks so much for stopping by. I'll see you next Friday. Okay, bye-bye.